Hello and welcome to CIPD Bitesize. In this video, we're going to be looking at AC1.4 from the 5CO03 professional behaviours and valuing people units. Now, this part of the question is a scenario-based question. So, task one, you've got a case study. You work for Nexabyte. You can pause it here and read it. You need to have the case study consistently in your head because the case study is critical to being able to pass this particular unit. So, case study, case study, case study, case study. Have a pause, have a read, and then we'll move on to the question. Okay. During the conversation with the two administration staff, you learn about some of the problems that have been there at Nexabyte. Some of these have involved unethical behavior. One manager regularly approving attendance at expensive training events and conferences for his favorite team members whilst consistently refusing similar requests for others, and even some illegal activity, a former employee using Nexabyte work time and equipment to operate his own separate business. Explain how, if you had been at Nexabyte and aware of these two situations when they existed, you would have approached and raised them. Now remember, to lay out your work, you put AC 1.4 there in the corner and you write your thing underneath. You have 400 words per AC on this particular unit. So break the question down into its component parts. You're explaining how the two situations, so again, favoritism and someone working on their own business, how you would have approached and raised them if you were working in HR for Nexabyte during this. You've got 400 words, so you've got 200 words per situation pretty much, but let's move on to sort of like the study plan. This is something that we've created for CIPD level 5 moving forward. So your question is 1.4, your verb is explain. Is the scenario required? Yes, because you're looking at Nexabyte and you've got two specific situations. Your word count is 400, which is 200 words per AC. How are you going to break it down into action points? So action point one for me would be team member working on his own business, and then point two would be manager favoritism. How am I going to use references and citations for this? Well, I'm going to find out case law. I'm going to find out evidence. I'm going to find out whistleblowing procedures. I'm going to find out employment law procedures. I'm going to find the things that they're breaking and what I would have to do in HR to be able to address these things. So here's just an example of the study plan filled in, but just think about how you would approach this particular situation if you were in HR. If you've got a manager that's showing favoritism, if you've got someone that's not doing their work, they're just I'm sat home recording videos. But what if I wasn't? What if I was working on another business and I'm being paid by HRC Online to do that? What would be the course of action? How would you go about that? What are the steps involved? What is the process? These are the types of things that they want you to say within this particular answer. They want you to be able to go, these are the consequences for breaking the rules, and these are the consequences that you get for breaking the rules when you've got a strong HR operating within the business. Now, some recommended reading. Certain things you've got. The ethical practice fact sheet. CIPD love CIPD. You'll probably hear me say that a lot, but CIPD love CIPD references. So look at the CIPD ethical practice. CIPD whistleblower. What if this unethical behaviour is potentially negatively impacting the organisation? What if it's the organisation that's being unethical? How do you escalate these things? What are the processes that you follow? The CIPD whistleblowing information really good. And then look at the CIPD profession map. Look at your core behaviours. Look at the core things that you're meant to be, and the main things you would expect from people within an organisation. Reference the two together. So again, it's just some recommended reading to just sort of help you get on the path to the right action. If you find something that you like, use it as sort of evidence for this particular thing. Now, as always, we give you a bit of a fictitious scenario to try and help get you through the question. And for this one, we're going to turn you into a captain of a ship, pirate ship. Love the fact there's a pirate logo and a HR logo on the same thing, because, why not? So imagine the captain of a ship navigating through a dense fog. Ethical values are like legislation, like lighthouses, navigation charts, guiding you to safety and destination. They keep you out of the eyes of the authorities and HMRC, for example, and tax. Recognizing when and how to raise matters that cause conflict with these guides is like spotting and responding to obstacles in your path. When you notice that something doesn't quite align with the lighthouse signals, i.e. your ethical values or the charts, the legislation, it's crucial to alert the crew immediately. You should have a signal issue, you raise the matter, you chart an alternative course, you find a solution, you show everyone is on board and understands a new direction to avoid any dangers or legal pitfalls, and you address the conflict appropriately. Because if you're not escalating and pointing out the things that are going wrong, I'm not saying you're an accomplice to it, but if you're aware of something and you don't say anything, well, why does that sit within your ethical values? These are the types of things that they want you to consider as a HR professional. What am I doing to ensure this is a fair workplace for everyone, that the business can thrive most successfully, and that I'm putting the pieces together to ensure that everything's okay? And when I see something that isn't going to work, what actions am I taking to ensure that it will work? Because apathy is what causes a lot of these things, people not taking action to fix these things. How are you going to, as an independent HR consultant, point out when you can spot another obstacle due to the lighthouse, or the charts are wrong because there seems to be an iceberg or something like that in the place? What are you going to do to ensure that everyone is aware and everyone is on board and we can fix the issue? That's what this question is looking for you to do. Absolutely best of luck with it. I'm sure you'll do absolutely great, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.